Welcome to the video for 6A through 6B. We're going to look at middles and frequency tables. So we have two objectives here. 6A, I can determine the mean, median, and mode of a set of data and determine how meaningful they are in certain situations. And then 6B, I can interpret frequency tables. So we're going to use, in this video, frequency table to find the mean, median, and mode. So first, what is the mean? The mean is when you add the values and divide by the number of values. Make sure you're pausing in between to write these down. The median, to find the median, you're going to arrange the values in order, find the middle value. If two middle values, then find the mean of the two. And we'll take a look at that in just a little bit. And then the mode is the number that occurs the most often. And I had one more thing here. Frequency table. Here we go. This is a table with categories and the number of occurrences in each category. All right, so we're just going to jump in and I'm going to give you a frequency table and we're going to find this stuff out. So a class of 20 students take a test. The table, this is the frequency table, shows the results. Find the mean, median, and mode. So we're first going to find the mean. So we need to find the number of, we're going to find the number of values and then, we're going to add up all the values, the scores. Okay, and then we're going to divide it by the number of numbers. So in this case, our frequency table, the category is actually a number also. The category is how many kids got a 0% on this quiz? How many kids got a 20% on this quiz? How many kids got a 40% on the quiz? How many kids got a 60? How many kids got an 80? And how many kids got 100? So this quiz here must have been, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 questions. If you got none of them right, you got a 0. If you got 1, you got 20 points. If you got 2, you got 40 points. So a short 5-question quiz this was made up of, judging by the point score here. All right, so we have one kid that got a 0%. So we're going to go 1 times 0 equals 0. So we're going to add all these up in the end and then divide by 20 because we have 20 kids in the class. And if you were to add these numbers, 1 plus 2 plus 5 plus 5 plus 7 is going to be 20 also. All right, so how many kids got a 20%? Well, we're going to take 20 times 0 equals 0. Okay, we almost don't need to include this one because no one got just one question correct. How many kids got a 40%? So 2 questions correct. 2 kids got a 40%. How many kids got a 60%? We have 5 kids that got a 60%. This is 300. How many kids got an 80%? 5 kids again got an 80%, which gives us 400. And then last, how many kids got 100%? 7 kids out of the class. Whoops, let's make that the 100 right here. Be consistent with how I'm drawing this. All right, 100 kids got, 7 kids got 100%. There we go. 700. So we add all of these up. I'm just going to add them all up. The total points this whole class earned was 1,480 points. But we're going to take this 1,480 and we're just going to divide by 10. And I'm going to start using the division bar to reinforce that fractions are just dividing. Okay, so I'm going to take the total number of points that the class earned and divide it by the number of kids in the class. So 20 kids in the class, if we divide these two numbers, we get 74%. Okay, so no one actually got a 74% on the quiz, but we can see that the mean was a 74%. So this is one kind of middle that the teacher could look at. She could add this all up and see, okay, well the median score on this quiz is 74%. I do this all the time and I look, Infinite Campus gives me the mean, median, and I think even the mode. I tend to look more at the median than the mean because in the mean, this one kid who's kind of an outlier here, right? Not anybody even got one question right, but this one kid by himself got nothing, got no questions right. So he's kind of dragging down the score for the whole class, and it makes it look like that the class didn't do that well, right? A 74% is just a C. But really, I mean, more than half the class here got an 80 or 100 on this test. So I like to look more at the median when I'm looking at my test scores. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so I went ahead and I put all of these in order for you, but if you don't have a table and you just have a bunch of numbers, you will have to put them in order. So make a big star here, put them in order. Because I have seen people line up just all the numbers and then start trying to find the middle. That doesn't mean anything. If you don't put them in order, the middle doesn't mean anything because you didn't find the middle, you just happen to find a random number. Okay, so now you can see here, if we put these in order, and this has already been cut in half for us, but once you put them in order, you're going to want to cross one out from each side to find out what the middle number is. Now, this was already broken up for us, but this is the process that you're going to want to do. So I've crossed out 3 over here. I'm going to cross out 4 from each side, 5 from each side, 6 from each side, 7 from each side, 8 from each side, 9 from each side, and now I can see that the middle two scores are an 80%. If you cross it out and you get down to just one score, well, that one score in the middle is going to be the median. But when there's two scores, you're actually going to have to find the mean of these two scores. And this one's going to be pretty easy to find the mean of. 80 plus 80 divided by 2. 80 plus 80 divided by 2 is going to give me 80. Right, pretty easy there. All right, but I'm going to show you how with this table, we could have found it. When we have a table, you don't necessarily have to put them in order here. So we found 80 here. But if we want to just find it from the table without taking all these numbers out of the table and writing it out, we can just figure out, well, if there's 20 students total, we need to find the number between the 10th and the 11th students, so half of 20. So I take 20 divided by 2 equals 10. So find the number between the 10th and 11th student. Okay, so right here, we have 1 student, we have 3 students. 3 plus 5 is going to give us 8 students, right? So all the way from here to here is 8 students so far. And then we're going to go 9, 10. Well, 10 and 11 fall right in here. The 10th and the 11th student are right here. So we can just look and see that the 10th and the 11th student fall here, then that is 80% right there. You could have also counted from the bottom up. So 7, 8, 9, 10 is going to be right in this category. All right, last thing here, the mode. The mode is the one that occurs most often. So actually, let's back up here. Right, so before we said 74% for the mean, but now if I'm looking at the median, well, I can feel pretty good about how my kids did on this quiz because the median says 80%. Okay, so more than half of the kids got an 80%, I'm sorry, half of the kids got an 80% or higher. So I feel much better about my quiz scores if I see that. Then the mode is just the most often. So we're just looking for the biggest number here, and the mode, most often, is right here because the 7 is the biggest number out of all of these. So 100% is the score that occurred most often in the class. So another good indicator that this quiz went well for these students. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching.